I got one of the most coveted armaments in Rise of Kingdoms because it's got a legendary inscription, baby. And it's even got a few stats that are sort of relevant for combat. So in this video, I want to do a couple things. I want to show you the armament, and I want to talk about what it would actually take to start to use this thing, because in some ways it's really awesome, and in other ways it's really tragic, man. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and when I got this legendary armament with a legendary inscription from a dispatch of all things, I got really freaking hyped. It's even got 2.6 cavalry defense. It's a combat stat. At least there's one combat stat, right? In fact, technically it's got infantry attack. So 2 combat stats, one for, each troop type there. But if we look at what this actually does, bro, troops receive a 5% boost to shields. Damage taken while you have a shield is reduced by 10%. Okay. So you have to have a shield active, and on that turn, damage taken is reduced by 10%. I mean, if you could get really high uptime on your shields, this would be really good. So in this video, I want to do a couple things. I want to talk about what I would actually need to do to get this armament to be relevant. And then I want to talk about a little bit of a comparison toward the end to Call of Dragons, because the artifacts there are really nuts in comparison, okay? So let's start with Inviolable. What does this do? Well, if you've been subscribed to my channel for a while, then you know I went in and told you that by going to the Codex, you can see what the legendary inscriptions are for each formation. And I told you ages ago, so if you're subscribed to the channel, you already know that you should be thinking about the end game. Where are we going in the long term with these armaments? And the weird thing about the hollow square formation, which is what the inviolable inscription applies to, the weirdness here is that it specifically is all about shielding. And shielding is so weird. Like, we have Alexander the Great who does shields, but you can't keep a high uptime on your shields with one shielding effect. You really can't. And we've also got, Skippy Prime. He does some shielding periodically. It's inconsistent. You have to take skill damage, and then sometimes you'll get a shield, okay? And so I suppose on those turns, taking 10% damage is pretty cool, but the overall effect of this is really minimal. We don't even have commanders at this point that do enough shielding to really take advantage of what this formation does. And if we look at what else is in this formation, eventually I'd want Crowned, giving me a 5% boost to shields and increasing all damage dealt by 3% when using a shield, 2% when not. Another one I would need is Cocoon, increasing troop skill damage resistance by 5%. And normal attacks have a 10% chance to increase shield strength by 10% for 5 seconds. I don't know, man. That just seems so damn weak. And then Rounded, increase troop damage resistance by 5%. Ay. So what commanders even do that much shielding to begin with? And of course, I do have Heraclius. So in order to take advantage of this hollow square formation inscription, I would basically need to be using Heraclius, and I would need to pair with another commander that does shields. The best guess that I've got would be that maybe the one and only situation where you actually leverage the armament in a meaningful way would be Heraclius paired perhaps with YSS as a garrison. Because then you've got some mighty shields that trigger from a couple different mechanisms. You've got the active skill on Hera. You've also got some other skill on Hera. Here it is. When you're shielded, you do damage. Oh, that's not even it. I guess you would need to use a lucky coin. When they use an active skill, their troop gains a mighty shield. There it is. So you've got the mighty shield on the active, the other mighty shield over here, and then the other place you would get shields is from YSS if you're getting swarmed, and then you got to use a lucky coin. And then maybe you're getting enough out of that to make it worth using that particular armament that I found. But it's kind of hard to say if all of that would even be enough. And the weirdness here is that in order to get the one set running, I now have to open armaments for Hollow Square, which means sometimes I will get them for infantry stats, which is what I probably want. Sometimes I will get them for other troop stats, but there's not even an armament that is truly beneficial for mixed troops, which is what the Heraclius YSS garrison would be all about anyways. So it's not like you can avoid focusing one troop type, even with new leadership equipment coming into the game, and we don't know what that looks like yet. So not only to use this one armament do I need to make a new set of equipment, to actually use it, because there's only garrison heroes where it's relevant, I would need to talent it and put iconics on it. I mean, we're talking about like a 9 to 12 month project to actually get somewhere good. And the best set I have, if I were to make the old switcheroo here real quick for the inviolable, which I haven't even done yet because the combo where I use it doesn't actually do all that much shielding. I only have a lucky coin on this combo. That's the only shield they do. That's for Canyon. That's the Richard paired with Constantine combo, right? But for infantry stats, I have 3% attack, 2.8% defense, and 1.5% all damage. And I have robust and hardy as well. It's another 5% total health. Yeah, so I mean, I basically can't even use this thing because I don't have the stats on this formation. Even if I start opening for this formation, I don't have the stats yet to hold up. And if I do start opening for this formation, well, if I get siege stats, it's terrible. And that's true of any formation, with the exception of the range formation. If I get archer stats, it's probably terrible because I think you're going to use infantry as the main troop type. That's my guess. If I get cavalry stats, it's terrible. I mean, the only all-in play, I think, is infantry. Unless the new leadership equipment changes the equation. And then maybe this is good as is. The other thing that could really help me out here is the thing that will let you re-roll the stats. But they said they would sort of do that months ago, and it's not here yet. So hopefully that will come soon. I'm like really eager for the ability to re-roll some of these armaments. But I don't even know if this is the one I would re-roll. Like, I hate to say it, but wouldn't I just be better off? I know, hashtag whale problems. I know. I know. But wouldn't I just be better off re-rolling like this one, which has enraged, 2.5% skill damage is just good, and also 1.5% normal attack damage. I mean, this is just good all the time. Like, it's actually just good. I might just be better off with that one than the crazy combo piece that is only relevant for this one niche situation, okay? Now, if we compare this to Call of Dragons, and I know not everybody's playing Call of Dragons, okay? I get it. But if you compare this to Call of Dragons, when you get an artifact in Call of Dragons, you can actually just use it. Like, it's actually just good. Like, you just get the effect immediately, and you can just put it on a hero. Like, you actually can just, like, use it. It's just like, hey, I got a good thing, and I can use it. So, here's another one that I got. Chorus Master with Siege stats. Of course, I got double statted, but Siege. And, you know, if I could re-roll this, it'd be really, really good. 10% chance to reduce incoming skill damage by 20%. Seems amazing. And also, when attacked, troops have a 10% chance to decrease all troop damage taken by 10% for 2 seconds. Okay, cool. So, you know, what really is the point of this video? Where am I going with all this, right? We've compared to Call of Dragons and how artifacts work. And we look at this legendary quality inscription that I got, okay? We look at this bad boy, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I can't even use it. I got the best inscription quality possible in the game, and I can't even find a home for it, which is really weird. So, I don't know. I think when we look at this system, the sort of feedback I would give is basically, you know, when you get a good thing, could it please be good? When I get a legendary, it should be good. When I get a legendary with an inscription on it, I would like it to be good, not 7.5% barbarian damage, right? And I get that there are situations where you'd want that, but like, you know, it seems like some of the things that are in here, actually, this one's really good. This is insane. This is really good. Deal 2% more damage of all types against troops with less than 20% of units remaining. That's like great. But, you know, 5% more march speed outside of Alliance territory is just like so obviously so much weaker than all of the other things. What I'm trying to say is like when I get something good, I just want it to be good. Okay. As opposed to being something that's going to take me probably, even if I spend 4 specifically more armaments from this formation, somewhere between 3 to 9 months to actually get this up and running. And by the time I get this up and running, is Heraclius even going to still be meta? I don't know. New archers are probably right around the corner. So if you want to see when those new archers are officially available to know, not leaked, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll definitely cover that and other exciting things. Normally, I might make a video, talking about opening lots of armaments to try to actually make this work, right? Like maybe I would have spent $400 and opened a bunch for Hollow Square and hopefully got some infantry. But right now, I'm just going to say my spending's been going to Call of Dragons, man, because, when I get good things, they're like actually good and immediately usable there, which is like super refreshing. If you want to see what I'm talking about with how artifacts work in Call of Dragons, card will be in the end screen for that. And if you want to see when I talked about these inscriptions, literally almost half a year ago, and predicted this sort of stuff about the formation system, card will be in the end screen. Is going to talk about the very best inscriptions and how you can prepare for them.